Okay, I'm continuing my article, Debasement of the Left, Academic, Intellectual, and Moral Decay. This is part two, and it's called History in a Blender. Lies and obfuscation don't change facts. The 1619 Project is the racial equivalent of gender studies, queer studies, and fat studies. It's 100% pure bull. Nicole Hannah-Jones wrote it and got it published by the New York Times, so much for fact-checking. At about the time other pseudo-academics spoke at a symposium hosted by, of all places, the Library of Congress. I would have thought the Library of Congress would have some serious standards about historical facts, but I guess not. The symposium was titled 1619 and the Making of America. The talks were a study in historical obfuscation and fiction. I give them full marks for creativity, on a par with Alex Haley's Roots. Great story, just not true. Their fictional retelling of the first, in quotes, 20 and odd slaves who came to Jamestown, Virginia, was a masterful mix of New Age spirit gobbledygook, a fictional BLM slave narrative combined with a mythical tale of native innocence pitted against the evil devil white man. The only thing they got right was that 20 and odd slaves landed at Jamestown. The rest is full-on fiction. I call it history in a blender. Somehow the narrative has been accepted as real by charlatan academics, the loony left, and the wokeaholics who want to sell the lies praise the tale as if it were true. Why they want to pretend to believe the nonsense is a mystery. And how about the supposedly smart people who are buying the narrative? Never have so many been fooled so completely by so few. I understand the academic shills believing their own bunk. I understand the loony left pushing anything disruptive. What is stunning, though, is how the military, NASA, and other organizations that should be more grounded in reality and above the fray have been totally duped. Maybe that's why we don't win wars anymore. Let's talk about the lunacy of the woke that knows no bounds. University of Connecticut law professor Mathilde Cohen told an audience at Sciences Po Paris and Paris Nanterre University that eating French food is an expression of white privilege. In a testament to the lunacy of the woke world, the professor professes, I would like to tell you about food whiteness in French culture, Cohen begins. By this I mean the use of food to reinforce whiteness as a dominant racial identity. She actually said this. The whiteness of French food is all the more powerful in that it is unnamed, enabling the racial majority to benefit from food privileges without having to acknowledge their racial origin. White Christian norms are considered the default, much like whiteness itself is often construed as a neutral, non-racial identity. Well, let's unpack that a little bit. The food is unnamed? Really? How about coq au vin, quiche Lorraine, café au lait, pain chocolat, one of my favorites, escargot? How about French onion soup? The noble baguette. Following Miss Cohen's logic, tandoori must be an expression of brown supremacy. Dim sum is an expression of yellow supremacy. Nyachomo, therefore, is an expression of black supremacy, and so on. Apparently, that feeling in the pit of my stomach wasn't hunger. It was an urge to express my whiteness, my supremacy, and here I just thought it was time for lunch. If I ever get in trouble with the law, I know who not to call for help. Ms. Cohen is not a great lawyer. My poor brain can't comprehend why the University of Connecticut would pay this delusional lady a nickel to teach anyone anything. If Miss Cohen was to be analyzed by the great Sigmund Freud, I think he would have suggested that she may be overthinking things a bit too much, and that sometimes, to use his phrase, sometimes a cigar is just a cigar. He would also likely have diagnosed that she is, to stay in the food theme, nutty as a fruitcake. But who's crazier, Mathilde Cohen or the university who hires her? It's just incredible. That's the second part. I'm now going to move to the third part of my story on debasement of the left.